In this lesson, we are going to create user profile page. Let us start by creating API handler for updating UI, for updating user profile. We need to go to /API /auth and create folder for profile. Inside that, create route.ts and import auth from auth.ts, shape put API handler using export const put, and wrap your function in auth, and then check the auth. If it's null, return not authorized. Next step is importing dbconnect, user model, and bcrypt like this. Then in the put function, get user from rec.auth, get name, email, and password from the API payload. You enter this information in the update profile form and connect to the database. After that, create try catch block like this, and in the try part, call find by ID on the user model. The ID of user is in the user object in the rec.auth. We already fill it in auth.ts at this point. We will fix the type error here, put question mark, go to the root of project, in empty space right click, new folder, types. Inside types, create new file, set the file name next-auth.d.ts. Here, import next-auth, default session, and default user from next-auth package. Then declare module next-auth, and inside that, I'm going to update the session like this. In the user object, add ID. It's optional, and it can be a string or null. Is admin. It's optional, and it can be Boolean. And merge this with the default session user object. Also, for the interface, extend default user and add is admin and is an ID and is admin like this. By having this, in the code, we do not get any error, and if I get rid of question mark, there is no error too. Save the code, check the user in the database. If the user does not exist, we cannot update that user, so I need to return user not found. Then update user based on the name, email, and password from frontend. Don't forget to hash the password before saving in the database. If the password from frontend is null, then use the previous password in the database. We do not update it. Then call save method on dbuser object and return this message to the frontend. If there is an error, return error message. Let's go for next step. It's in the menu.tsx. Go to menu.tsx, write after order history, add a new li, put a link to profile page. So if I click here, I have profile in the drop-down menu. When I click on profile, I should get 404. Let's go and build profile page. App frontend, right click, new folder, profile, inside that, new file, page.tsx. In this file, import metadata from next and export const metadata, set the title to profile. Then render the React component. It's a server component. I'm using a sync function. Set the name of component to profile, and what I'm gonna return is a form like this. And let's create that form in the profile. New file, form.tsx. RAFCE to create a React component and export defaulted. Save code, go back, import form from ./form and save the code. Here we have form. Go back to form.tsx. Here we are going to shape update profile form. First step is defining inputs type. In this form, we're gonna get name, email, password, and confirm password. Then in the form component, get access to the user session using use session imported from next-auth/react. Get access to the router from use router hook, next/navigation. Call use form from React hook form. Set the input type to inputs, and for default value, set name, email, and password to empty string. Next step is defining use effect, imported from React. At the very beginning, get rid of React and replace it with use effect in curly brackets. Define use client at the very beginning. I scroll down. In the use effect, I check the session and session.user. If we have value, set the name and email input box with the values in the session object. I'm using set value from React hook form to fill input boxes. Next step is shaping form handler. The form, when user click on submit button, I need to define form submit function. It's of type submit handler in React hook form and accept input as a generic type of this function. It's an async function that accepts form as parameter, and inside that I extract name, email, and password from the form object. They are the values that user entered in the input boxes. Then create a try-catch block like this. Call /API/auth/profile. We already created this API handler. Set the method to post, header, content type application JSON, and in the body, return name, email, and password from the input boxes. If the result is okay, toast, beautiful, profile updated successfully message, imported from React hot toast. Then create a new session from the previous session, but in the user, keep all previous information of the user, but only update name and email. Then call update method and pass new session as parameter to the update. Where does it come from, the update method? It comes from use session from next-auth/react. If the result is not okay, get the response and show the message in the result, in the data. If there is no message, show error, toast, error message. In the catch block, get the catch using this code and show the error message. Let's go for the last part. In this component, it's in the return section. Get rid of this and replace it with this div. Set max width to smallest screen, center aligned, card, to create border like this. Inside that, create another div, set a class name to card body to create padding around the card. Add heading 1, set class name to card title to make it bold. Create a form for onSubmit, call handle submit from React Hook form and pass the form submit function we created here. Next step, create the first input box like this. Add a div, set class name to margin vertically 2. Create a label and input box. Register the input box using React Hook form register function, and this field is required. Set the class name to input border to create this beautiful input box. If there is an error, show the error message in this field. Let's go for the next field. It is email input box like this. I added a new pattern to check the email is valid. Next one is new password. And the last field is confirm new password. In the input box, inside register function from React Hook form, I added a validate function and get the password in this input box. And in the return part, I compare password with the value in the confirm new password. If they are equal to each other, it's gonna be true, so I return true, everything is okay. Otherwise, if it is false, password should not match, will be returned. Also, they don't have required field in the password and confirm password because changing password is not mandatory in the update profile form. If there is an error, show the error message. The last div is for submit button. Create a div, button, caption update. If is submitting, make it disabled, and show a spinner. Everything is okay. Let's click on update password. As you see, password should match. I'm not going to update the password, only I'm going to change the name of user and email of user. Click on update. Profile updated successfully. And if you check here, the name of user has been updated in the header menu. Go to another page, go back to profile page. This time I have John 1 and admin 1. Let's make them like before and click on update. Awesome. It works perfect. And we have done this lesson by implementing update profile page. Until next lesson, bye-bye.